Sitting at the splendid convergence of the Rhône and Saône rivers, Lyon boasts a long and rich history, lovely scenery and unique landscapes. Lyon offers a clear view of the different periods in its history. In most European towns, the different districts have developed on existing sites. The geographical location of Lyon has enabled the city's districts to extend towards the east over the centuries, thus providing a remarkable physical continuity between each era's centres. Crossing the river, there's the maze of small streets and alleys, with little traffic and lots of old houses, cobblestone streets, old shops, and unexpected twists and turns. It's a centre that continues to move with the times, restore its buildings, and which is mindful of the harmony of its squares, hills, and rivers. These are narrow secret passages which allow access from lane to lane by passing through several buildings. Some other marvels of this typical architecture: courtyards, spiral stairs, and lookout towers like the Pink Tower and St Jean Cathedral. A Rabaul is a traditional passage in Lyon which allows one to pass from one street to another or to reach an inner courtyard. The late 15th century house and courtyard inside have spiral staircases in the towers, which were built as symbols of wealth and power. The Pink Tower makes up this elegant Renaissance ensemble, dressed by Lyon's most prestigious contemporary silk manufacturers from top to toe, in the very best silks and other fabrics. The St Vincent footbridge is located in a small area on the Saône. It's the closest in Lyon that allows pedestrians to move from St Paul to St Vincent. It's a beautiful purple-painted bridge. It's suspended by cables to stone pillars, and because of its light weight, it moves in the wind. Its name comes from its destination. It goes from the neighbourhood at the dock area to the church of St Vincent. It was built in 1832, but was washed away by the flood of 1840. Whale Square takes its name from the street and port, the Whale. It's existed since the Middle Ages, and few things have changed since this period. Place des Terreaux is considered the centre of the town. Several bars and cafes give life to this square. The square was built in the 17th century to host public executions and a pig trade market. In 1892, the city council bought a statue from the famous sculptor Bartholdi of the Statue of Liberty fame, which Bordeaux had commissioned, then refused. The town hall building was constructed between 1646 to 1672 by Simon Maupin, the city's architect. Soon after its inauguration in 1674, a fire partially destroyed the building, and Jules Hardouin Mansart supervised its reconstruction. Once completed, the Place des Terreaux quickly became Lyon's administrative centre. This City Hall monument is set up around 2 courtyards and 4 pavilions. The belfry of the City Hall contains 4 bells. Today, Hôtel de Ville welcomes the city's council 10 times throughout the year, and its doors are open to the general public only on certain celebrated heritage days. In the 5th district of Lyon, the Place Neuve Saint-Jean has an alignment of old facades, which opens on a series of arches, hidden by stores and restaurants. The streets of this district are small and harmonious. The ground is often paved and paved. For Via Basilica is a typical example of 19th century religious architecture. It was built by the architect Puffin. The Lion of Judah, in the centre of the facade, dominates the entrance to the crypt. The lion, designed and sculpted by Dufresne, is a double tribute to St Joseph and the city of Lyon. The full width of the facade is 35 metres. The front 12 characters includes the Lyon figures of the 19th century. There's a contrast between the simple towers and the ornate centre of the facade. Lyon's Basilica was built to underline the might of the Roman Catholic Church after the Prussian defeat of France in 1870 gave rise to the birth of the anti-clerical Third Republic. The Basilique Notre-Dame de Fourvière was built on an ancient Roman forum. The Basilica of Notre-Dame de la Fourvière mixes Greek, Gothic, Byzantine, Neoclassic and many other influences. The church is extremely beautiful, especially its facade. The doors of the crypt are made of bronze and recall antiquity. The basilica was built in a very eclectic style, with an austere exterior and luxuriously decorated interior. In the centre are the Virgin and Child. The Mosaic, St Puffin in Lyon, is the work of the painter Charles Lamière. The Battle of Lepanto is a composition of the Mosaic by Charles Lamière. The Fourvière and Saint-Just districts are part of the area classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1998. At the meeting point of the Saône and Rhône rivers, Lugdunum, as Lyon was then known, developed first on Fourvière Hill, where a forum, theatre, temple of Cybele, Odium and public baths were erected. The Theatre Roman, a Roman theatre Odium temple complex, is in a park south of the Basilica in Lyon. Lyon's Roman theatre is the oldest in France, built by order of Augustus from 17 to 15 BC and expanded during the reign of Hadrian. The Odium, reserved for musical performances, was once sumptuously decorated. The Grand Theatre's original design encompassed 89 metres in diameter and held 2 tiers, with each tier seating 4,500 audience members. Both an upper covered walkway and a lower walkway were later converted to create a third and fourth tier of seats, bringing the total capacity to 10,000 people. The orchestra floor still contains mosaics of marble and porphyry. This 24-hectare district was the first in France to be protected and is now classified with the World Heritage of UNESCO. The history of Lyon began under the Romans in the 1st century BC, when the city was proclaimed capital of the Three Gauls. This official status brought political, economic, military and religious development to the city. This period of preeminence lasted for 3 centuries, but didn't survive the downfall of the Roman Empire. In the 15th and 16th centuries, the growth and prestige of Lyon was unrivaled. Trade was booming, with 2 and later 4 annual free fairs. The predominant features of the city's commerce began to emerge: silk and silk products and the textile sector in general. Banking took on an important role thanks to the high level of trade. The city's publishing activities placed it among the leaders in Europe. For the royal authorities in Paris, Lyon played the role of relay city on the political and financial level, but also for military purposes, particularly during the wars with Italy. Its splendour shone far beyond French borders. By 1960, Lyon had fallen into a sad state of dilapidation. Many buildings were endangered by neglect and by urban development projects. In 1964, Lyon became France's first protected sector. The Lodge Exchange is the realm of bankers and European merchants who converged from the 14th century to fairs in Lyon. The 5th district is as multifaceted On Lanery Street, there are houses with facades from the Renaissance period, decorated with fine stone carvings, guirlanda and medallions. To the west of St John's Square, there's a beautiful view over the hills of Fourvière. The square is quadrilateral and entirely paved. At the centre is the stone fountain with a beautiful statue from 1844 depicting the baptism of Christ by St John the Baptist. It's also possible to drink from the mouth of the Lyon. The Mannequinterie is the oldest civilian building. St John's Cathedral is the cathedral of the Archbishop of Lyon, who holds the impressive title of Primate of the Gauls and is the leading Archbishop of France. It was built over several centuries, from 1180 to 1480. From the outside, the Cathedral St John appears solid and determined, having withstood the sieges of time, revolution and war. The cathedral has a rose window from 1398. Thanks to its historical diversity, Lyon has been registered as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO.